Are Wrestling Extra.
A abrupt emergency, We Are Wrestling.
You only have so many spots on your roster. You can't have everybody.
They're going all in for these documentaries.
I want to be champion. I want to be the one to carry that flag.
You're a wrestler here? You're a wrestler?
It sucks seeing the real part of wrestling sometimes.
You're watching We Are Wrestling Extra.
My guy over here muted, bruh.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
Technically, I'm the best one right now, bitch. The new We Are Wrestling Predictions World Heavyweight Champion in the fucking house. What is going on, everybody, man? And yeah, keep you're gonna eat those words, bro. Sit and spin all day long, man. You and Dan Eddie, and I'll even throw Rage in there. You guys are not better than me at what the fuck I do.
Oh, don't worry. You can hold that title for the holidays. I kind of felt bad. That's why I didn't try in the predictions. I'll get my title back at the Rumble. No way you keep that belt till then. But what is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs. We're live on a Tuesday afternoon for a We Are Wrestling podcast extra, because when there's breaking news, we need to cover it here on the channel, and that's something I feel like we haven't done in a while, so we're going back to our old routes. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to this wherever you get your podcast, leave us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download this episode and all the other episodes. But if you're not a maniac, you're already over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because of course you already know the grind is real. And we got a lot of people here for a totally not planned episode of an extra.
Luckily enough, we having a snowstorm here in Mass, and Donnie got, sent home from his shoot job because the weather's really bad. So he hit me up, and obviously, I don't do shit during the day. So he was like, bro, you want to do an extra on this massive news that broke? TNA is officially moving to AMC starting January 15th, man. It's going to be massive 2026. Like, can we just sit here and appreciate that regardless of how bad WWE and AEW have been this year, pro wrestling still continues to win.
Wow, we got 25 people here. I didn't even listen to anything you just said because I see a bunch of maniacs here in the live chat. We got Eric. We got Wrestling member Bradley in here. We got our other co-host, Dan Eddie, who we'll see tomorrow live, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Walter Johnson, 3247, saying, what's up, Donnie? You meet wrestlers on your vlogs? Cool. That's right, man. Always out. In November, we did a lot of traveling, a lot of vlogs that you guys can check out here on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, and even additional content over on my toy channel. And he said, not even that massive. AAC isn't even on Hulu Live or Dish Network. Well, guess what? It's on YouTube TV, and guess who has YouTube TV? This guy. So I finally get to watch TNA, and the last time I could watch TNA was going all the way back to Destination America, whatever network it was on during the dying days. So I am actually very hyped about this deal, and this is massive for TNA because you have to remember going all the way back to the pandemic. TNA wasn't even supposed to survive past 2021 with all the things that were going on, all the shenanigans, and with the Carters selling it to Anthem, it wasn't supposed to last. Like, if you watch those days of TNA in like 2019, 2020 to now, it's a massive 180 what this company has done. And I think somebody that deserves their flowers for this, easily Scott DeBoer, because he's the one that made the decision to bring back TNA and get rid of that Impact Wrestling bullshit.
And wasn't he involved in the very early stages of the TNA and NXT partnership? Or is
He
that after he
what
left? I can't
That
remember.
was after he left when Carlos Silva, that was one of his first
Because
moves.
I
But
do
real
know,
quick, before you say what you got to say, Alex Johnson, are you going to make Raw reactions? Yes, I am. I already did them last night. I just, with my shoot job, haven't posted them. So they will be posted after this stream. I still got to edit a little bit. So just to put that out there, Raw reactions are still coming out. All right, you can continue.
but I know Scott D'Amore has a good friendship with, the people over at WWE, because I mean, even after he left TNA, it came out that they gave him a tour of like the Performance Center in Orlando. Like, so Scott D'Amore does have some kind of a friendliness with WWE. So I wasn't sure if he was instrumental in that whole partnership coming to be.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him. Surprise! I think that was the direction they were going in, but Carlos, I think, made
He
it
might have
actually
started
happen.
it and then they let him go, and then it just spiraled from there.
Yeah, so, oh yeah, man, shoot jobs absolutely suck. Trust me, I wish that I could be making wrestling content 24 hours a day, but with my shoot
You
job,
know it can
gotta pay
happen.
for the bills, gotta pay for the lights that are behind all my toys that I have. That's why helping us, hitting that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications helps. Super chats, all of it goes right back into the channel because we want to give you guys the best pro wrestling content possible. But let's talk about this. And this is why we're here. Like, we could have waited until tomorrow, but with the Survivor Series review, Chris Jericho's possible WWE plans, and lots of other news that we need to cover because we got a pretty solid week for once.
Tomorrow's gonna be crazy, bro.
We want
Before we start, I do want to
into
sort of give a
TNA wrestling.
before you start, I do want to give a shout out and condolences to Punk and AJ. It came out today that their dog Larry, everybody knows, how infatuated with that dog, AJ and Punk were or whatever. Unfortunately, he passed away. Don't know the cause or the circumstances behind it, but just wanted to send a massive shout out over their way and hope they're doing good.
Hey, Dan Eddie, you see us going live right now? If we didn't do this, tomorrow's episode would be 6 hours probably. So you can thank your co-host for coming here live talking about this.
Me and you just love to talk. So even a show like this,
you
could
can't
spiral
discredit
into
Dan
5
Eddie.
different.
Dan Eddie loves to talk too. We all love to talk.
Well, no, but I mean,
We're all
it's
wrestling
different
marks.
for me and you. I mean, we can, have planned. All right, we're gonna be going for live for an hour and a half talking about this topic, and then we'll talk about 7 other topics that have nothing to do with the topic that we originally discuing. This
I
podcast could
told
go
Rage I
for
would do a
4
better
hours.
job at controlling the show, and that's something I need to do better at.
R.I.P. Larry, greatest movie he ever did was Bite Omega. Oh my god, bro, can't escape the whole brawl out situation.
Dude, Larry, man, like it's sad. Like when I saw that
situation.
news, because a lot of pets and animals are people's kids. Like AJ and CM Punk, they adopted Larry from the Chicago. What was it?
Pause Chicago or whatever. It's like
Yes, Paw Chicago.
yeah.
Like a shelter with like pets and animals and stuff, and they adopted him in 2015. Gave him the best possible life ever, and unfortunately, he's passed. And our condolences here on the We Are Wrestling Pod do go out to CM Punk, go out to AJ. Like I've lost dogs in my life, and it's sad. Really,
I've lost a lot
really
of animals,
sad.
and they do end up becoming like family. Like animals are, I like some animals more than I like some people. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, absolutely. Because no matter like what you do, no matter what you say, like you could feel like you are like the lowest life piece of shit on the earth. Your pet is still going to love you. And I can't imagine the pain right now CM Punk and AJ are going through. So our condolences to both of them during this time. But now let's get into this extra because there's a lot to talk about. There is some rumors as well that we're going to dive into with the whole TNA and NXT partnership. Then we're going to save that for last because I think that's the juicy part of this entire thing is what's going to happen.
I appreciate you subscribing. We have a lot of new people in the chat that I don't ever recognize seeing, so appreciate you guys. Man.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate it a lot. We're live every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do the live watch alongs.
We also have our own individual channels or whatever. Links are in the description. Check us out.
Yep, and then we also do live watch alongs for all the WWE PLEs, AEW pay-per-views, and yeah, even specials. Like I'm sure the first episode of TNA that goes on AMC, we're gonna be doing a live watch.
I will be going live for that, man. I'm not gonna miss it.
Absolutely. Wow, this is nuts. I already lost my train of thought here. It's Tuesday. Every Wednesday we have our flagship show is every Wednesday. This is an extra. You guys are here for the extra because this is breaking news with TNA and AMC. And this is news that we've been talking about on our podcast for quite a while. We've gotten little things. We've gotten rumors that AMC was going to take over. But now it's official. TNA and AMC have put it out there that the new home of TNA Wrestling, Thursday Night Impact, will be on AMC. And pretty much they have signed a multi-year deal to bring Impact to AMC beginning January 15th, every Thursday. And it will be a live episode on the 15th. And it will be from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if they gave us full details if it's going to be live every Thursday.
I don't think it's going to be live every Thursday.
But the very first episode will be live.
Yeah, the first episode is going to be live. And then, some weeks it'll be taped, some weeks it'll be live. So they're going to, go back and forth. They're going to see how the ratings are. Obviously, the ratings are going to spike the first episode because everybody's going to be interested in seeing what they do.
And they better capitalize on.
And then after that, depending on how the ratings do, they might end up going live. You know what I mean? So I'm interested in seeing what comes of it.
Me too, man. I'm excited. And also, the multi-year U.S. rights deal is finalized and expected to land around $30 million, with 1.526 set as the launch date. Sources also indicate that WWE tends to end the relationship, and their agreement includes a 60-day termination clause, and the AMC deal activates it.
Well, somebody new in the chat, Eli, Impact Faithful Podcast, said that WWE NXT cutting ties with TNA rumors have been debunked. So, like I said,
oh yeah, so John Alba did debunk those rumors.
Shout out to Dana, John Alba. I watch his and
my notes don't matter.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about what you have to say. They care about me because I'm the We Are Wrestling prediction champion. Okay. Shut up, bro. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. Dax Toretto, man, welcome to the stream, the podcast. Appreciate you guys. So I'm really interested in seeing. It's been a while since TNA has been on a major network like this. I remember the days of Spike TV when, at that time, 2007, 2006, when they were going head to head with Monday Night Raw. Bro, they were easily pulling in almost 3 million viewers a week. I feel like that was the peak. That was peak TNA era. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go from here.
What up, real Juggalo?
Bro, we're getting a lot of new people that I don't recognize.
We are. I hope they let me out of work more often with the snow.
Yeah, thanks to you just subscribed. I appreciate you, bro. I've been watching JCW, man. It's getting kind of interesting, man.
Vince Russo's doing a pretty good job.
Vince Russo's on there, yeah.
But dude, this TNA partnership, I've been waiting for this for a long time because I don't know what it is. I tried doing the TNA Plus thing. It's just not right. It doesn't feel right. It's not the same growing up for me. I used to love watching TNA Impact every Thursday on Spike when they had the 6-sided ring, Kurt Angle, Sting, Christian Cage, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. I grew up, man, during the best years of TNA. So I never wanted TNA to go out of business. Never did. Yeah. And it was looking really, really rough until they made the announcement of TNA. And I think they've done such a fantastic job with this entire rebuild from start to finish. And I will say there's things I do not like about Carlos Silva. I think that he doesn't have to be involved every time we get a new champion, giving him the title. Yeah. Because even Tony Khan doesn't do that. There's things I like about this new TNA, but there's things I don't like. And one of the things I don't like is that Scott D'Amore is not involved with this.
Yeah, Scott D'Amore, he was instrumental in sort of like the resurgence in TNA, but like before like the NXT partnership or whatever. Like,
Josh Toy Show.
Josh Toy Show, man. He shows up on my Twitch stream sometimes. I appreciate you. But like he's the reason why we have TNA instead of Impact. You know what I mean? He brought TNA back. I remember, when that announcement came to be or whatever, and they had that whole video package. Like, it's been that was years before I felt like excitement to watch like Impact or TNA. And then when I saw that the TNA was being brought back, I was like, bro, this is a massive opportunity. This is almost equivalent to this is almost the equivalent of WWE reverting back to WWF. You know what I mean? So that was a massive opportunity.
So now here's why
I started to get soured on it when Scott D'Amore left, and then the NXT and TNA partnership started to ramp up, and I was started slowly, giving it more of a watch. More, I started paying attention to it more, obviously, because I do watch a lot of the NXT PLEs. I'm really excited about this, man. I'm really excited about this.
I'm also really excited because I was going to say, too,
massive opportunity, man.
In 2025, I got the opportunity to go to both TNA Slammiversary and TNA Bound for Glory, which if you guys want to go check out that vlog, it is up here on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. Man, TNA, I've always been such a big fan of, and for them to finally get the TV deal, and I always say this, every episode of the podcast, timing is everything when it comes to professional wrestling, and we marks know that. And when it's all said and done, I think this could have not happened at a better time for TNA because let's face the truth here. WWE, we're finally getting out of the honeymoon stage here. Yep. People are starting to see the cracks and starting to see the negatives of Triple H's booking. AEW, on the other hand, they're starting to lose a lot of viewership as well because they're putting on fantastic, great pay-per-views, but their weekly shows don't have any compelling storylines that are keeping us viewers interested with television every Wednesday. So with TNA having this TV deal, this is great. This gives us fans an ultimatum. If we don't like what WWE is doing with the same PG Sesame Street crap that Triple H has given us, because what we got at Survivor Series, I cannot wait to rant about that tomorrow here on the show. TNA every Thursday now. AEW, if we don't want to watch the same monkey spots over and over again, which I love AEW because I'm a fan of the in-ring stuff, but I wish they would give me more storylines. I don't have to watch it no more. I can watch TNA on Thursdays. This is great for even the talent because guess what? Now, if it is roughly $30 million, that means TNA could sign their talent to more long-term deals, and this opens up the door to bring in new talent, and more lives are going to be fed. I can't even talk. That's how excited I am. Shit.
Yeah, man. Like, I love this for the simple fact that even if you're not in the same way I feel about AEW, like I watch AEW every week, I've sort of soured on it, this entire year. I don't think this entire year has been really that good. Like, their pay-per-views are phenomenal, but their weekly shows is just not, there's just no substance there. So I watch, but I watch so other people don't have to. You know what I mean? This is an opportunity. More wrestling is good not only for us because we're content creators, we're podcasters, we do watch alongs and we just create content around pro wrestling. So that's good for us. It gives us more stuff to talk about. But also, more and more wrestlers are getting an opportunity to be able to do this full time.
To feed their families, to have a roof over their head. That's why this is the massive W. So, like, when people, like, rant and they say, oh, I want Tony Khan and AEW to go out of business. No. Why? Why do you want that? Because if you are a true pro wrestling fan, We Are Wrestling Maniac, you know that AEW, if it wasn't for AEW, WWE would have never stepped up their game. And they would have never had the Bloodline storyline. They would have never been hotter than they are now, which is starting to fizz out a little bit. But still, AEW, I've always said this, competition brings out the best in everybody. And when it comes to AEW and WWE, this is great. And now with TNA, this is even better. Like, I want NWA to get a TV deal now. OVW. I want all of these companies to succeed because you're right. It gives us more content.
OVW has a show on Netflix.
More opportunities.
They have a reality show on Netflix.
And now with TNA having some money to play with, now opens up the door for other people in AEW or WWE that are like, I'm not happy with what creative's giving me.
And like
TNA can give them that opportunity.
And like nothing is ever going to be perfect. Like, you know, no pro wrestling booker is perfect. It was 100% perfect 100% of the time. You know what I mean? So I'm not expecting, you know,
trust me, I'm not either.
And TNA to be
with some of the booking decisions that they did at Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. Trust me, I am not at all. But
this is what we were talking about on podcast when we talked about the whole Mike Santana, you know, dropping the title thing.
Oh, TNA is not number 2, James. We are not starting that narrative right now. They got a long way to go. Patience. We do not want to ruin this for TNA wrestling.
But like this is what we were sort of talking about in the podcast when we ranted about, you know, Santana dropping the title. They might want him to win back the title from Frankie Kazarian on the January 15th episode.
Well, they better.
Be massive viewership, and that's gonna give AMC the green light. Like if Mike Santana wins the title, and the ratings start to spike and go up with him as champion, it's a good thing. But it's also gonna be a test to see if Mike Santana is the fucking guy. Because if he becomes champion and the ratings for whatever reason start dipping, then we know there's an issue and we need to correct it.
So real quick, I do want to pull this comment up. I meant to a while back. We got CDD33AR. Bro, we get Raw on Monday, NXT on Tuesday, Dynamite on Wednesday, TNA on Thursday, SmackDown on Friday, and pay-per-views on weekends. What a time. What a time.
Bro, pro wrestling is
exciting,
bad, man. Like, they're never going to get, like, you know, the 20, 30 million viewers or whatever like they did back during the Monday Night Wars. But,
Christmas
like, if you sit here and tell me that pro wrestling is not making a fucking major comeback in a major way, look at all the content creators. Look at all the podcasters. There's people on fucking TikTok that are making careers that are just reacting to the weekly shows. Like, if you sit here and tell me that pro wrestling is not making some sort of comeback, you're a bullshit fucking liar.
Agree. Absolutely agree. And with this like opportunity, it just really opens up more doors. And I really hope guys like Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, Moose, Brian Myers, these guys who have been dedicated and loyal to TNA, especially during like the dying days, they deserve to be rewarded here for staying loyal. And even like the morales in the locker room for TNA have never been higher either. So that's always great to hear. And I just, man, this is great for everybody involved.
We need to end this narrative. Bradley, I appreciate you. You are a loyal supporter of us, and we thank you very much. But WWE will always remain number 1. AEW will always remain number 2. And for the foreseeable future, TNA is going to be number 3. That's just how it always is. AEW has more money. WWE has more money than both of them. You know, TNA is just now really like cementing their footsteps in a major way. It's going to take a while before they can catch up to either of them.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say too. It really comes down to money, and WWE is the flagship. Like nobody is going to take that number 1 spot. They could put out the worst television. It could be worse than the New Gen era.
900,000 viewers on Halloween.
It could be worse than what Vince McMahon was doing before the Thunderdome. WWE is always going to be number 1 because they've been around for so long. Like there's people that aren't wrestling fans that know what WWE is. Now, for that number 2, it does make things very, very interesting with TNA and AEW. Like, I'm not going to discredit TNA here, but right now AEW is number 2, and they're probably going to be for quite a while until somebody does invest millions more into TNA. And it is going to have to take somebody that they do build into a star, which is something that I will give TNA credit for. They've done a great job at building their own stars. Jordan Grace, she got herself a fat contract with WWE. The newest signee, Joe Hendry.
Yep.
Another guy who got massively over, and he was under the TNA banner. So if TNA can continue to create these larger-than-life superstars, they could take that number 2 spot from an AEW, especially now that they have that TV deal. So it does make things very interesting. But as of right now, TNA still has a long way to go. And I think if they're going to get that number 2 spot, they do have to cut ties with the WWE and NXT because some of those booking decisions that they're making will cost them in the long run. And TNA needs to be its own thing.
Yeah, they do. I like the unpredictability of the whole thing. Like,
Me too.
like you could have a TNA show or whatever, and like, a random NXT person shows up, whatever, and wreaks havoc. Like, I like the unpredictability of it. So that's why I want the partnership to continue at least for a little bit.
Well, right now I'm okay with it continuing, especially like maybe for another year, because TNA just got the TV deal. It's gonna open up the door.
NXT doesn't have that much television time, neither does TNA. It gives people more time to shine. Like, do you think WWE would have given an opportunity to somebody like Jordan Grace or
Joe
any of
Hendry?
them without Joe Hendry, without this partnership going on? They probably didn't even know who these people were. But now they're given opportunities. They want to sign these people. They have signed them. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's good on both ends. Plus, like, say, like, you want Obafemi on TV or whatever, but you don't have, you can't book him on this particular show. Send him over to TNA and he can fucking be a monster over there for a little bit.
Yeah,
or whatever,
but that's not long. But long term, Danny, that's not going to help.
Yeah, long term,
TNA.
it's not going to be good. But for current
right now, it will.
Right now,
yes. But we need to focus on the future as well with TNA because a rebuild doesn't happen overnight. You don't win a championship overnight. And I'm a sports fan. I follow football and I follow basketball. And there's 3 categories when it comes to a sports team. You are a contender, which means you are going for the championship. You are trying to win it all. You have a rebuild, which is exactly what AEW did for a while, but it seems like they're trying to get back into contention. But TNA, they're right now in a rebuild because they're trying to rebuild their brand. They're trying to rebuild their company. And then you have the worst position that you could be in, and that's called mediocrity, which means you are not rebuilding. You're not at the bottom, but you're not at the top. You're in the middle. And that right now is what's going on with AEW. Yeah. TNA is in the rebuild. So if TNA wants to go from rebuild to contention, they do have to be careful with how they play their cards. And they can't just instantly continue to work with NXT forever because eventually they're going to end up being mediocre and it's going to decline in ratings and it's only going to help WWE and not TNA.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Ooh, I do like this comment here from Trent. TNA needs to go after Nikki Blackheart. She is one of the top women right now in the independent circuit.
I'm not familiar with who she is, but
she's pretty good.
Like Nikki Blackheart, it kind of intrigues me.
I will say this. I also really hope that this does open the doors for more people in our area to get an opportunity because with TNA, man, like I think about this all the time. And
Sammy
I usually
Diaz. Sammy Diaz.
Oh, that's our boy right there. Absolutely. But there's so many talented people in the Northeast right now when it comes to like the independent circuit. And man, I hope Bear Bronson, he's somebody that's working the latest tapings, bro. And he might actually end up getting signed, which is nuts.
Let's fucking go, man. Give that dude a fat ass contract because like the work that he's done at Blitzkrieg and like other independent promotions and like the matches that he's had with Cruel, we've gotten to witness it. Like that dude deserves a fat ass contract, man. Sign that motherfucker.
Ooh, James All Day. TNA should bring in Donovan Dijak. That could be a good signing. But he is signed right now. I believe he's signed right now to MLW, which I feel like they could MLW actually be up in line.
People to contracts, or are they just independent contractors to where like they get paid per appearance? Because there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people that do per appearance in MLW, but they also do sign people to like short-term deals.
Nikki Blackheart was on SmackDown for a bit.
Yeah, I think did. She was an enhancing talent.
Oh, see, that's why some stuff. I didn't know. TNA should sign DBE or Chris Danger.
Ooh, and that's also scary too because like
BDE.
BDE, that guy needs to be signed on the line, on the dotted line, because if TNA is going to want to grow their audience, grow their brand, bringing in a guy like BDE, who is very popular content creator on the YouTube platform, and man, like this feud that he's been doing on TNA, because I've been watching the highlights of it with AJ Francis, has been very good. It's been very good television, and the matches that they've been putting together have been so good.
Cedar in the live chat says the issue with partnering with WWE is they poach top talent like Leon Slater. Yeah, but
That is a big issue.
It kind of goes both ways though, because like how many times have we seen over the last couple months that talent gets released from NXT or main roster and they end up going to TNA or whatever, like I mean we've seen it. So
yeah, but here's the problem when it comes to that. You see, TNA, they're losing big stars to the WWE.
That's
Joe
why they
Hendry
need to make big stars.
Okay, but here's the thing. With the partnership, if they continue to make big stars and they're under that WWE umbrella, a guy like Leon Slater could end up leaving to go to WWE, which at the end of the day, that's why WWE will always be number one, the flagship show, because all these pro wrestlers, I'd say 95% of them, their dream is to main event a WrestleMania, to be a WWE champion, to be a larger-than-life superstar. It's everybody's dream, which is why at some point we see people go to the WWE, whether it's a main event run, a lackluster run. Doesn't matter what it is. It's still a childhood dream, and when you're a child and you have a dream, that's something that you want to achieve, and you'll do whatever it takes to get there.
Well, I mean, everybody, if you're a pro wrestler and you don't have a dream of like being in WrestleMania or whatever, like you're a fucking liar and I'm gonna spit in your face. Like, you know what I mean? But like we have seen talent get released from WWE, whether it's NXT main roster, and they make a bigger name for themselves in TNA, like Josh says, Indy Hartwell. We got Nick Nemeth, who I feel like over the last 10 years, bro, you cannot sit here and say that Nick Nemeth is not a bigger star in TNA now and take it more serious now than he was when he was the fucking part of the Dirty Dogs or whatever.
Ooh, I like
Bobby
this.
Roode. You know what I mean?
I do like this. Danhausen to TNA. That could be a really good move for Danhausen.
I could see Danhausen going to TNA or going to NXT.
I was gonna say I feel like
WWE
realistically it's gonna be
interested
NXT.
in him because he has a friendship with CM Punk. So
hey, they are like best friends, yeah. But I do think for TNA, TNA it would be a great fit. Imagine the segments with him and Santino. That'd be great.
Yeah. That'd be
Ooh,
hilarious.
Steve Macklin. That is somebody who has done a great job at rebuilding himself, like after getting released in WWE as like one of the like a jobbing tag team. Like he's done a great job. I wouldn't mind seeing him like go to WWE eventually. But there's so much talent in TNA, and I think what makes me the most excited about this whole partnership with the AMC deal, a lot more people are going to start to realize how good their roster really is. And I think there's a lot of people that think about the Joe Hendrys, they think about the Jordan Graces, they think about the Nick Nemeths, but they don't think about some of these underrated stars that they do have on the roster.
If they want to, I want to circle back to this because if
Mustafa's
TNA,
great.
If TNA really does want to expand their audience, I would sign BDE because not only is he a pro wrestler now, but he's also got his footprint on social media, on YouTube.
I said that like 10 minutes ago. BDE is somebody that needs to be on the dotted line.
I would sign him. I mean, he's still developing or whatever, but he could develop into something.
He looks very good for somebody that's not been in the business for a long time.
Somebody that just came from being a fan, making content out of pro wrestling and doing the whole hot takes thing to now actually doing it. And he was in that battle royal at Bound for Glory.
I was there, and let me tell you, he did get a very good pop. The crowd loved him.
He could be in a way like TNA's sort of Logan Paul. He came out, he comes out vlogging. He has the whole like camera thing or whatever. Like you could have some massive viral moments. And I feel like that's what will explode TNA to the,
exactly. James hit the nail on the head. BDE could be TNA's Logan Paul. And that's why I think that would be a massive W for TNA to get him signed before it's too late, because you never know. AEW, they could be watching what he's doing as an unsigned talent. and they could say, let's take a chance on this kid. He's how old? In his early 20s?
I want to say he's like 21. I can check real quick.
He's young. So, like, WWE, AEW, they could take that chance on him. And that's why, like, also when it comes to the TNA deal, having more money to play around with is going to be a big game changer for TNA, because now they're going to be able to sign people on the dotted line. He's 28.
He's
Oh,
26.
wow.
He's 26.
He is
He was
man.
born August 5th, 1999.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Angelo, what's going on, man? I refuse to call Logan a celebrity wrestler anymore. Me too.
Oh, yeah, me too. Logan Paul's
He is
fantastic.
Pro wrestler. I'm a big fan of what Logan Paul could do.
Logan Paul, like, because I used to, I don't, I'm not afraid to admit, I used to watch his vlogs all the time, whatever. And, like, I could sort of, like, tell that he had, like, that kind of charisma to be, like, a pro wrestler. But I just wasn't sure how it was going to translate. So I'm really glad that he decided to go down this path.
Me too. And just overall, like, this is big. This is really big. And, like, I really cannot wait to see, like, what TNA is going to do, because when they do make a change, a lot of the times they do something.
TNA could sign Paul Walter Hauser, because not only is he a pro wrestler, on the indies and stuff like that, and he's done some work for AEW, he's done some work for MLW, but he's also a worldwide actor. You need like, regardless, you need these big names.
I'm surprised that AEW didn't sign Paul Walter Hauser, because he had a really good match at Ring of Honor. I did watch the highlights to that.
But I feel like
but I think he doesn't want to commit to a contract because of the filming.
Well, yeah, but I feel like with TNA doing some shows live and some shows taped, like you could tape like 3 weeks
schedule.
of TV
Oh,
with
dude,
him,
TNA, they got a perfect schedule that could work. Absolutely.
You got to have these big
yes,
names
Angelo. Yes. TNA should get Dutch and Vincent and put him with Elijah. Dude, let me tell you, like, I think it was like midway through the year. And oh my goodness, the little vignettes that they did with Elijah, I forgot when it was. I think last year. I was like, this is the missing piece to the Righteous. This is what they need. They need Elijah. So, like, I hope that this actually comes to, like, fruition.
Somebody, James all day. I think Paul Walter Hauser gave a shout out to, like, Macho Man Randy Savage, and he gave a shout out to a bunch of people at, like, the Emmy Awards or the Golden Globes or something like that.
Dutch and Vincent haven't signed with WWE. They were just that big event.
Nah, there's interest though. But I was watching somebody else's live stream talking about this whole TNA news, and they brought up the fact that if TNA signed Killer Cross and Scarlett, and have him legitimately be Killer Cross,
that would be like the move they need to do. I think
they could utilize him more than WWE did.
Especially, like, getting a TV deal. Like, you kind of need an anchor. And I've always said it. Like, I feel like Killer Cross is somebody that you legitimately could build your whole company around. He is a next level when it comes to storytelling. And the connection that he has with the audience. I was at Silver Scream Con. I was at Rhode Island Comic Con. And I also was at Big Event New York. And that man had a line out the door, the entire time. He is over.
And, like, let's face the fact,
Charlotte to TNA would be a massive W.
And, like, people want to say, like, oh, WWE didn't utilize them. Like, WWE didn't need Karrion Kross. Let's face it. Like, WWE survived without Killer Kross 2 times. They're surviving now without him.
Yeah,
like,
but it makes me sad because, like, he wanted to succeed in WWE.
A company like TNA needs a Karrion Kross.
They do.
Somebody that's been in the WWE system, somebody that's as creative. He could not only be a performer, but he could come up with creative ideas to push the company forward. And that's what you need.
Well, this money, man, opens up a lot of doors for TNA, and
so people can say this is not
exciting.
This is not a big deal and this and that, but, like, this is a massive deal.
Yeah, because if you really look at it too, like, yes, I had Destination America on Spectrum, but when it comes to actual national television networks, the last time TNA had this type of deal was Spike TV. And this is
Exactly.
massive for TNA, especially a company that multiple times was supposed to die.
Bro, they were close to death many times. And they're like fucking cockroaches, bro. It just keeps, you think it's dying one day and the next, like some big thing happens.
Maybe the Forbidden Door. You see, I don't want them to go with the Forbidden Door, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want TNA to just start doing their own thing. So, like, I'm
Yep.
kind of, and let's honestly get into that now, because even though, like, they did say, like, John Alba of Sports Illustrated Wrestling, he pretty much did say, like, it's not true that the partnership is ending, but there's some speculations going on, because now that TNA pretty much, they finally learned how to swim without WWE putting on the life jacket. What is going to happen next for TNA? Like, should they move on from NXT, or should they continue the partnership? What do you think?
I think they should continue, at least for a little bit. At least for like, you got to see how the ratings do. Yeah, I would have like a couple shows with just TNA, and then I would have a couple shows mixed with TNA and NXT. See what does better in the ratings, because you don't want to drop off, and then because I feel like having TNA talent showcase on NXT as well on the CW, like you're getting your footprint there, you're getting more fans there. There's people that watch NXT and WWE that they don't know anything about TNA, but they see, NXT stars on there and they're like, let me check this out on Thursdays. You know what I mean? So I feel like people can say whatever they want about it, but I do feel like this partnership is a good thing for TNA, more so than WWE.
I think for me, the only way I'll be okay with the NXT and WWE partnership is if we get these NXT guys away from the TNA titles. Like, I really think like that's not helping at all with this partnership. Having Kalani Jordan holding the Knockouts championship, and like they're like putting her on like Team TNA versus like NXT with like the Invasion or like the Showdown. Like, that was stupid. Like, I just really hope like we could get, I don't know, like there needs to be a balance, like if you're going to have this partnership, because like with AEW and CMLL, I see a perfect balance. WWE and AAA, like I think there's a better balance there than there is with NXT and TNA.
Oh, that's
I feel
more
like it's
news.
very one-sided.
That's more news. Apparently, now take this for a grain of salt, but apparently, ink to paper has already been put down, and they are very close. WWE is very close to announcing an American TV deal for AAA. So not only are we going to be getting Raw, SmackDown, TNA, AEW, but we're also going to be getting AAA. Bro, pro wrestling is fucking winning, bro. 2026 is going to be the craziest year.
I hope so. We said that in 2025.
Well, who knew fucking AEW and WWE were going to shit the bed?
I could have said that. Because I feel like with like pro wrestling, just period, there's always like a time where wrestling's at an all-time high, and then like we kind of have to relax a little bit.
But
And
like
that's,
you got to think like now, like we have so many more options. You're not really feeling WWE this week, you can watch TNA. You're not feeling that, you can watch AEW. You're not feeling that, you can watch, soon you'll be able to watch AAA. Like we have so many different, like back in the day, it was only, maybe ECW, WCW, and WWF. You know what I mean? Like
that's also
now
something.
There's
also
so
something
many,
good
there's
to
so
mention.
many different.
We got a new Maniac here, Sam Death, 3439. What's going on? TNA bringing in UK stars like Zaya Brookside, Mila Grace, and Harley Hudson is beneficial for UK wrestling. And that's also another thing too, like you have to remember as well. And because I've been a viewer of TNA wrestling going all the way back to like late 2005, early 2006. And one of the things that really helped TNA grow during that period was their working relationship with the UK. And some of their most like popular crowds were when they would go on those UK tours. So like I do hope that like TNA continues to do that as well, because that
I
will
do kinda
also
feel
lead them
like
in the right direction.
I do feel like they need to get out of the US and Canada and sort of like go abroad and like start like, getting their footprint in different territories or
And I
whatever.
think that will happen now that we do have this TV deal.
Yep.
But I will say this, like, if there is anybody that they do need to keep in TNA right now, if there's anybody, Jeff and Matt, they got to keep the Hardys. They
Oh yeah,
have to.
100%. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted to see him back in
Oh, I want
WWE.
them to as well, but I feel like just like you were saying about Karrion Cross, the Hardys are just so much more beneficial not
Yep.
AEW, TNA. Like they're
Yep.
so much more valuable there.
Yep. Angelo said, nah, man, everyone was saying in 2024 the year 2025 was gonna be so good. Nope. I will say 2025 started out good, with the whole John Cena heel turn. Like nobody expected that. That was massive. And that was in March. That was at the very beginning of the year. And then The Rock didn't want to be involved, and that's when I feel like the downfall happened. So you can blame The Rock for 2025.
Him and Travis Scott,
Yep.
especially Travis Scott. But like overall, like when it comes to NXT and TNA, just as long as like they have a better balance, that's all I care about because like I'm looking at TNA into the future. I'm looking
Yep.
3 to 5 years from now because what they do now can affect that. And that's why for me, like I really kind of hope they either move on from NXT and they do their own thing because like they can't continue to lose their homegrown stars to WWE. They lost
Well,
Joe
no, but
Hendry.
like,
They lost Jordan Grace. We can't lose Leon Slater. Leon Slater needs to stay in TNA
but the thing is, the thing that you're forgetting
for
is,
Ricky's sake.
but the thing you're forgetting is Joe Hendry still shows up on TNA. Jordan Grace still shows up on TNA. So it's not like they lost them. Yes, like they're actual WWE talent now, but they still show up on the show. So like I would understand and I would agree if like they signed to WWE and they were just like fuck TNA and they didn't go back there, but they still make appearances on television.
Ooh,
Helping
I
the
want to
ratings,
answer this.
you know what I mean?
Angelo, We Are Wrestling member. Do you think they will move TNA to Wednesdays on AEW? Here's what
maybe at some
here's what
point.
I think. If it was going to happen, it would have happened here with the TV deal. And that's why like a part of me feels like maybe this working relationship with WWE is ending pretty soon with TNA because there were reports, and we talked about this on multiple episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast, which is live every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've talked about it. There was reports that WWE is trying to get TNA a television deal with the CW, and it was going to go on Wednesdays and go head-to-head with AEW. So they would have NXT on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays around the same time as AEW Dynamite, they would go head-to-head. So this has to make you think that maybe TNA is starting to, like, they got what they wanted out of this deal. They got more eyes on the product. Some of the people that gave up on TNA, like myself, are now tuning back into the product because WWE NXT helped them get that. I will say this, though. If Carlos Silva decides to move on from this partnership, man, he did his job. He really helped TNA get back like off their feet.
Now what they need to do is bring back Scott D'Amore because
They
he
have
was
to. Yes, I
he was the
agree.
man that like really like began this. The whole it was a domino effect. They switched from Impact to back to TNA. Scott D'Amore got fired, and then they brought in the whole NXT partnership. And now they got a TV deal. It was like a domino effect. They need to bring in Scott D'Amore. He needs to be in charge of creative in this new era of TNA because what he was doing at the beginning of the year before they let him go, which we still haven't gotten a legitimate reason for, outside of like the fact that they were mad that he wanted to buy the company. But they need to bring him back. He needs to be in charge of creatives. Carlos Silva, he does not need to be involved, in that aspect of TNA.
Well, I think one of the big names that's actually like been helping with creative backstage with TNA is Sami Callihan, and I think that's why like they've been doing a really good job with storylines.
Sami Callihan and Scott D'Amore need to come together and they need to work on this together. This is massive, man. So
this is huge.
Just the fact that they don't bring back Scott D'Amore, I feel like that's going to be a massive L before their even first show.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, but they've been doing pretty good without him so far too. Like I will say, like if I had to pick, obviously I want Scott D'Amore because like I felt like he was the Paul Heyman of TNA wrestling. He was the heart and soul.
Yep.
But hopefully, like TNA, they don't like decline. I really hope that they continue to go up from here because this really does open the door for so many talented pro wrestlers out there.
And who's to say? Who's to say? Like they, you
like
know,
one guy I want to say too, like to keep your eyes on next year when he comes back from his ACL injury, Casey Navarro.
Oh, Casey Navarro. Yep.
Very talented individual. But what were you
He's
saying?
he's friends with Buddy Matthew and Rhea. I see him. They're always fucking training together and stuff like that.
Alex Amberstone works for MLW now. He went back.
Yeah, he left TNA. But like now AMC, it's not like a massive network. I just looked it up now. I could be wrong, but in 2023, an average of 375,000 people watched AMC in 2023.
Still fucking better than what they're dealing with now. This is still a massive W.
A lot better. But
like, you have to remember, AMC was the home of The Walking Dead.
Who's to say they don't have
TNA's coming back from the dead?
Who's to say TNA doesn't have this deal for, you know,
TNA's alive
3 years or so, and then they get interest from like a CW or from like a Fox, or like they see how the ratings do and they're like, we want to jump in bed with them, so they get a better TV deal in a couple years.
This right here is steps in the right direction.
But this is what I'm saying. They need Scott D'Amore. They need somebody that's going to be in charge of creative, that's going to be running the ship, because this is your opportunity. Good. Yes, but this is their opportunity. They're going to be in front of a whole new audience, a lot more people than they are now.
GCW, dude, you got to go check out my big event vlog because the zombies were in it.
Bro, I watched them on JCW, man. That was fucking wild. Like I would never put that black shit in my mouth. That's just wild. But like, you know, they cannot fail.
They're not gonna die. They're not gonna die without Scott D'Amore.
No, they're not. But they need.
I want him back.
Make
just
sure
like
creative is strong heading into January. They need to make sure the creative is strong.
They got good people working back there. Also, I did forget to mention too. Not only is there Sammy Callahan,
Mike Santana dropping the title on his first show with the fucking title is not good.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad creative, but they still have good creative too. Like, talk about the good.
But their first show needs to be a fucking barn burner.
I agree. You need to set an example. I agree. Not disagreeing with you. But I do think that, like, TNA, they're going to be fine, but let's keep the gas. Let's keep hitting the gas. Let's continue to keep going up.
I'm excited, man.
So I really hope, like, moving forward with this partnership, that this does open the doors for TNA, and hopefully they get the numbers and we get an even bigger TV deal.
For God's sake, sign Matt Cardona to a fucking contract. WWE obviously doesn't want to sign him. Sign that motherfucker to a contract.
I love Matt Cardona, and I'm a wrestling figure nerd. And I be watching every episode of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. And Matt Cardona, I don't think he's signing any long-term deal with anybody unless it's the WWE. He has made that firm. But yes, I do agree. TNA should try to throw him a crazy offer. And
they should, man. They have the money. They have the money now. Sign that motherfucker up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's who I was gonna mention. Tommy Dreamer is also involved with creative as well. He's another guy. Delirious Johnson, he's the head of creative. So like Carlos Silva is not writing all the shows. He's actually doing his job as the head of Anthem or whatever, just financing. It's
weird that he's in front row at all the shows, and fucking every time a new champion is crowned, he's standing there in the fucking corner with the title.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna call it out right now before we close this off, all right? Because everybody wants to shit on Tony Khan for being a little mark, right? At least he is not freaking giving out freaking championships to freaking people that win the belts. You don't see Tony Khan out there with an AEW hat on, freaking handing the titles over. Yeah, maybe you get him at the press conferences. Okay, cool. But at least not on the shows. So like, and I feel like if that was Tony Khan in Carlos's shoes. Like, if this was Tony Khan wearing the TNA hat, given the titles, everybody in the IWC would be having a fucking field day with this.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, you're right.
Like,
And,
Tony
like,
Khan gets so much shit for no reason.
I'm in no way saying or implying that TNA doesn't have good creative. I'm just saying, like, with this deal, it's been years and years and years since TNA has been, like, you know, at the forefront of
I
any
know
kind of
I'm
fucking
right,
positive
Josh.
news. They need to go in guns blazing in 2026. They need to show who the fuck they are, why the fuck they deserve this deal, and you know what to expect in the future. And I just feel like the more people in charge, more creative minds that you have, the better off the product's gonna be.
Absolutely. So, real quick, because we're almost hitting the hour mark, I want to let the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know that if you have any questions related to TNA and this partnership, we want you to ask right now because we're going to stay on here for probably about another 5 to 10 minutes. So, we're going to give you guys the chance to ask us any question. But
Yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You enjoy this show, you're going to really enjoy the flagship show. We're going to be reviewing Survivor Series. We do a Getting Put Over segment every week. We're going to be putting over EC3 this week. So, Danny, you better be doing your fucking homework for the rest of the day.
I might go live on my channel for TNA or NXT tonight because I plan on going live for Deadline on Saturday. So
Yeah, so you can probably rub it in my face that you're the champ.
And if you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Link is in the description. It's also my name is right here. I go live for all the weekly shows, Raw, SmackDown, sometimes AEW, you know, NXT when they have a PLE or whatever. So make sure you guys subscribe. I'm 4 subscribers away from hitting 2,300. So,
and also, guys, if you're into wrestling figures and toy hunts and some of the things maybe I grew up collecting that you might have grew up collecting, I have a whole separate channel as well, which is right there. This one, Donnie, which is the links down below. We also have Grind Is Real shirts as well, which really help. And man, and then with We Are Wrestling, subscribe as well because we give you guys the best pro wrestling content. Raw reactions will be coming out in a few hours, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, tomorrow we'll be live for the We Are Wrestling pod talking about
I'll post the links
all the good stuff
in the live chat.
Yep, which we do have in the links down in the description box below. But I think you can't see it because you're vertical from what I'm noticing. Because I know we have 2 setups here for the live. But
this is my channel that I'm about to be posting, and then I will grab.
You'll grab mine. All right, sweet. And here's a good question. When's the last time TNA had a TV deal? I believe it was Destination America, and that was like 2016. I want to say, unless there's another one that I forgot. Another question from CDD33AR. Is the deal with WWE a partnership with a limited time on a contract, or is it like TNA, like an NXT type deal? That's a pretty good question, actually. Because I think it's a contract. I thought that they signed like a multi-year deal.
They do have a multi-year deal, but it's for TNA and NXT. It has nothing to do with the main roster. So
yeah, I think it is NXT and TNA
because to TNA and
they
NXT.
They kind of want both promotions to succeed. So they're trying to benefit off one another.
My channel and Donnie's channel are in the chat, so feel free to go and subscribe to our individual channels.
Yep, we got our individual channels right there. And Angelo, one question about Raw. Were you shocked LA Knight beat Jay? Yes.
I was, bro. I was. Everybody in my chat was going crazy because we didn't expect LA Knight to beat Jey Uso. We all went in thinking that, we're going to have Jey Uso versus Gunther again in the finals.
Yeah, but I feel bad for the LA Knight fans like Rage because they probably think that he's going to beat Gunther next week, and it's not happening.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. It is what it is. But, man, tomorrow's episode of the pod, I'm excited. Because with Survivor Series being so lackluster, I cannot wait to talk about it because there's a lot I need to say that I didn't get to say on the live watch along this past weekend.
Oh man, it's was not that good of a show, man. So I feel like me and you are both going to be ranting about it. Dan Eddie's
Yeah.
probably going to be like, the show was fine. It was a banger.
But he's gonna say this. Ready? The only thing that was missing.
John Baker's not ready for the world title.
Yeah, Jay Cargill is.
That's why
Oh,
he
man.
doesn't have this.
Oh, I'm gonna get my title back.
The We
I don't
Are
know how the
Wrestling-
hell WWE effed up EC3.
the
Don't
We
know
Are
either.
Wrestling Predictions Champion is right here, man.
And I'll tell you this right now: if any of you guys have EC3 answers that are WWE based, like, don't even say it on the show because his best run was TNA.
Bro, the only thing I remember about EC3 and WWE was even when he was on Alexa Bliss's show and Dean Ambrose absolutely fucking roasted him.
Yeah, I know. Dan Eddie said that, I think, in the John Moxley getting put over. That was his favorite segment or whatever. Yeah. Oh, man.
Stephanie Becerra versus Nikki Bella should not been on the fucking card, bro. And the idea, bro, there were between the Nikki Bella and Stephanie Becerra match and the main event, there was 25 minutes of commercials and advertisements before the bell.
EC1 and 2. What's up, boys? Hope you're doing well. Well, we are doing pretty well. Danny was just going on a rant about Stephanie and Nikki.
I was going on.
I had to mute it because you could save it for tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta save it for tomorrow.
As the host with the most, sometimes I have to mute you and make some tough decisions.
I'm surprised we're only going an hour, man. I thought this podcast was gonna be like 6.
Well, nope. Tomorrow's episode will only be 5 because we talked about this today.
Yeah, but we might have to come back to this tomorrow, depending on if there's any other further news about the deal that we haven't talked about today.
That is true, but I think we covered everything as of right now. Obviously, we'll give you guys the scoop and we'll keep you guys in the loop. If you enjoyed this We Are Wrestling podcast extra, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're new here, which we saw a lot of new fans, so we really hope to see you guys tomorrow live, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It happens every Wednesday, and we talk about all the real good stuff. And we're going to be giving our Survivor Series review. We're going to be talking about the possible WWE plans for Chris Jericho. There's a lot to cover. Even Kenny Omega, we got some news on him with what they plan on doing. There's a lot of interesting things tomorrow that we're going to talk about.
We'll be talking about Cena's last run next week because it'll be the last podcast before his final match. So we'll discuss that next week.
Or we'll probably do it the week after because we want to see how the last match goes, and then we can kind of overall rate the entire run itself. And then we'll probably do an extra with just the news because I feel like that'll be such a long episode. But guys, hope you enjoyed this extra. If you did, smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you want the best pro wrestling content on YouTube, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because not only do we have a live podcast every Wednesday, we do live extras periodically, and we do live watch-alongs for all the WWE PLEs and AEW pay-per-views, and reactions to the weekly shows, and even wrestling vlogs, because we do travel and we do vlog that stuff for you awesome people. Best way to support the channel is subscribing, turning on the post notifications. Links down in the description box below. You can follow Danny Huckins over on his YouTube channel, which is right there, Danny Huckins PW. That's additional bonus content.
2 subs away from 2,300, man. Let's go.
He's live for all the weekly shows, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT sometimes, AEW sometimes, and of course the pay-per-views. But you're getting those weekly shows. That's bonus content on his channel.
That's something you
that
guys
you're not
don't
getting
get over here.
You don't get that unless it's a special show. Myself, you want to go check out my toy channel, Best One Donnie. You can go check that out. All the cool things behind me. I cover all that on my channel. All the links down below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. Also forgot to mention, get yourself a Best One Grind is Real shirt. That link is down below as well. Perfect holiday gift. We are taking over. Peace. Wow, I can't believe you're getting us a subscriber because you're the champion.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm the